let's just point blanket, is Jim gone? Is he leaving?
I'd be really surprised if Jim coaches another game at Michigan. I mean, he has done everything he could have hoped to do. He not only took back the rivalry, he dominated the rivalry, he dominated the Big Ten, and then he slayed all the dragons this year. Okay, so, from some of the people I know who know Jim best, one of the things they said that burns for him is he's never won a Super Bowl.
That does
came really close.
I know you said it, I think 2 weeks ago, that there's one thing Michigan can never give him, and that's a Lombardi trophy.
Right.
And that is, so you hear that from the people who are close, like it burns, like they'll have conversations with him.
Yeah, it's one thing that they know that's the one thing. And again, Jim is different than most of the guys who've been really successful college football coaches. Jim's a proven NFL head coach. Like all these other guys, we've talked about this before, like, Urban bombed in the NFL. He'd never been there before.
I think you're understating it, what he did in the NFL.
I work with him still. So
I'm sorry. Okay, sorry. Okay.
But like Matt Rule, is a really good college coach. Matt Rule, you know how that went. And, but like Urban was 44-19, took over a 49er team that was nowhere near what it is now. They had like a decade of mediocrity, and he wasted no time getting them going. So, again, is it going to be the right fit? I know what happened, or I think I know what happened when he went on signing day to Minnesota, and that didn't go well. But I think if you're an NFL franchise and you're sitting there going, all right, are we going to approach this interview the same way we would approach it if it's Ben Johnson or if it's you name the hot assistant coach?
So you're saying what happened in Minnesota, where let's have another, like a long ass Zoom or an in-person meeting, or the Broncos want a second shot at it. Those days, I would imagine that would be over. Like, hey, you got one interview with Jim Harbaugh because you know what he can do. You know what he just did. There's no reason. You're right. You can't treat that interview like you would just try to kick a tire on a coordinator that's never done it before. I totally understand that. But my and again, this may be wishful or hopeful, but the idea that he could be Bo, right? That he could be the second coming of his coach, where he personifies for decades at the job what it is to be a Michigan man.
He's already got that.
No, I know he's already got that, but to do it for a long time and get multiple championships and put himself in the pantheon of coaches like Saban or Kirby Smart, where you get multiple championships, and that's the level you dominate, and put aside the whole concept of that Lombardi trophy, because the money's going to be there. The money's on the table right now, is it not, in Michigan right now?
Yeah, I don't think the money is going to be the thing. I mean, it's not my money, but I think, what you just said, he could do it for a long time. He's actually done this job for a long time. Like 9 years in this day and age as a college football coach,
right,
in the day of the portal and the day of NIL and all the other stuff. This is not a knock on the coaches of the 70s and 80s. The job is way different. It is. I'm not saying it's 10 times harder. I do think the grind of it is very different. Now, the money is way more. I don't know if that's relative or not relative, but again, nothing, I guess, should shock us in this day and age.
Sure,
but to me, it's going to be, does the NFL piece of this just fit for him, right?
What's the fit?
Again, I think the fit is going to be somebody not sitting down with him and expecting, okay, what's your schedule is going to be like for the off season? It's going to be like, okay, do we want Jim Harbaugh running the show here? Are we comfortable with Jim Harbaugh working for us, working with us, the whole thing?
And what about for him, though? Got to be a quarterback. Does he, based on your knowledge, need the choice of general manager? Does he shop for the groceries, last say in the draft room?
I would think you'd want it if you're him on that piece.
Right.
But like, there's a really good quarterback and
just
not far
from here.
Yeah, brand new facilities coming in. I know that his wife liked living in Southern California.
Okay, yeah.
Again, I have no idea what direction the Chargers ultimately are going to go. I just think also, it's like some of the people in leadership there know who Jim Harbaugh is. I mean, he's been there before. I don't think there would be any surprises to me. Like when if you're in Jacksonville or if you were in the Panthers, those were new relationships. I'm not saying nobody knew who Urban Meyer was when you're hiring him, But Matt Rule, it's like, I think with Jim Harbaugh, you probably have a sense of what you're getting.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.